Today we're headed off to a ghost town and a little scenic drive out by Zion National Park. The ghost town is called Grafton. It's right just out of Rockville, which is just outside of Zion National Park by a few miles. So we're going to take you on a little bit of a tour of that, so you can see it's a pretty cool ghost town. It's well preserved, has some cool buildings that we get to walk through. So, and then we're going to take a trail, a jeep trail from there and go up a ways on top of a bluff, get a great view. So come along with us. By the way, be sure and subscribe to us if you want to see more of what we're doing, and hit the bell, the like button, and let us know what you think in the comments. So appreciate it. We'll see you when we get out there. We'll be heading out here shortly. So we're here in Rockville, which is just outside of Zion's. Rockville is where we're going to turn to go to the Grafton ghost town. We'll kind of give you a little view of town. It's a nice little small community before you get into Zion National Park. Okay, so this is the road to Grafton. It's the road.
This bridge here in Rockville was built in 1924.
And which river does it go over?
Virgin River.
The Virgin River. Some really nice formations here.
Gray Wolf can handle this dirt road.
Yes. Cemeteries to
Grafton was founded in the year 1866, and by 1907 the little town had been abandoned.
and they had a rough time over those years, but some of the buildings are pretty well preserved. So this is Grafton. We'll come in and kind of give you a tour of some of these buildings. This is the old schoolhouse slash church and meeting place. They used to have a dance here every Friday, so it's kind of interesting. But it was pioneer spirit, obviously. Back in the, let's see, 1800s, 1859, there were about 5 families who came down to start this area and developed it. The crops they were trying to grow were cotton, which didn't seem to go too well, but they kept at it until how long, Brenda? When did they finally leave? 1910?
1907.
1907. So there was also a huge flood which kind of damaged the area during part of that time. And they had a number of deaths, which we'll talk about when we go to the cemetery, but a lot of these, there were a lot of young people that were killed, various things, which we'll again talk about when we go over to the cemetery. But let's kind of go walk around a little bit and see if we can go inside some of them. The school. I don't know how original some of this stonework is, but as far as the steps, but it's pretty cool. And of course we're close to Zion, and you can see some of the big formations from Zion right there too. And then I believe this was the kitchen and dining area. So another big fireplace. So once again, this was the Russell home. Talked a little bit about the restoration. So, and it's part of the National Register of Historic Places here in Utah. So this probably would have been the dining area right here. And a little back door that led out to the river down there. And of course they had a lot of farm land back here as well. So let's go upstairs. They didn't have big furniture back then, I don't think, because you can't get it up the stairs. Especially when it turns like that. So again, this is probably a bedroom, I would imagine. What do you think, Brenda? Do you think it was a bedroom?
Being upstairs, I would say yes, bedroom.
There's a view out the window on part of the farm or ranch area. This is all kind of adobe brick. So and this would have been another bedroom, I'm assuming. The floors are in pretty good shape, but sometimes I get a little nervous stepping on areas. So here's a view of the church, school, gathering place. Okay, we'll head back down the stairs.
Members of families.
But there were 168 families total at one time, so it was a pretty good sized community that lived here. So
It may not have been 168 families, it may have been 168 people.
oh, so maybe 168 people. Sorry, that's probably correct. But that's a lot of people for a small little farming community like that. So, but there's a pretty cool little cellar, root cellar over here. We'll kind of, in order to preserve food, had root cellars. So we're gonna walk down into the root cellar. Go ahead.
Did you turn it on?
Okay, so down into the cellar.
Okay, they do have it blocked off with this rock,
Oh, okay.
but
So, anyway, and you don't have to open it if you don't want. Let's just go down in here. I don't know if you can see anything, it's so dark. But yeah, picks up a little bit. So, it's a pretty good sized root cellar. They could have stored.
lots of vegetables, fruits.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And it keeps it at a nice temperature. It's all built out of stone, which would have kept it cooler. So that's pretty cool. We'll just have to see how strong Brenda is. Look at those muscles.
I could move the rock.
So most of the foundations for these homes are built of stone, of course, and then we've got the adobe brick that's on that's on top. So that was cool. I don't know the exact placement of all these homes, if these were exactly where they all were, but I'm gonna kind of guess that that's correct.
This settlement was begun along the Virgin River to grow cotton. It was part of the plan for the Mormon self-sufficiency. So in 1859, there were 5 families from Virgin that settled downstream about a mile of modern Grafton. Is this modern Grafton, or is that back where we kind of came? I guess that's where we kind of came. No, that was Rockville. So
maybe there was more settlement up further at one time.
So they planted crops, they made irrigation ditches, they built their homes. In 1862, a flood came through and destroyed the small town. Then in 1862, the pioneers began to rebuild. Cotton production didn't last long. The farmers found out that they really needed to use the land to grow food so that they could sustain themselves. So it was in 1864, there were 168 people that lived in Grafton.
Anything else you want to say?
Even though life was hard, they always had time for music and dancing.
Yeah, they had dances every Friday. So that would be great. Kind of a fun thing for everybody to do. Hi. Good old big cottonwood tree. So here's the front porch. This is a pretty nice house. It's all a log cabin as well. I think built on a stone structure. Got some of the old hardware, or some that kind of matched. So we'll go inside. It's a one room cabin. Again, you can kind of see all of the axe marks and stuff in the wood as they chopped it all up to get it to work together. But this is just a one room cabin. No separating walls. So I think they did a restoration on this at some point, but we don't know for sure if it looked exactly like this. And then out here, they had a hot tub. Yeah, it's a hot tub. No, I don't know. It was probably another structure that they were building on, because there's the stone foundation, but I don't know what was on it at that point. And then there's one more home just up this little pathway that we'll go to as well. But still beautiful views if you lived here. Would be a great place to have a modern home. So we don't know who owned this house, Brenda?
We don't have info on that.
Okay. Big old cottonwood tree. Nice little picket fence. Okay, one more home. Are we walking? Let's walk the trail the pioneers used to walk. I'll lock the door. Do you ladies want to sing or anything?
Or dance?
Or dance. So folks, this is the end of part one, and we're going to be going over to the cemetery and then up to this is the cemetery for Grafton Ghost Town, and it's kind of cool to see some of the things that happened there to these people. Also, we'll be taking a scenic byway that sits above the Grafton Ghost Town. It's really kind of cool. We're going to drive up there, and then we're going to finish off. We're going to come back down into Springdale, which is right before you get into Zion's, and we're going to go get some bumbleberry pie and ice cream. So it's kind of infamous for that bumbleberry pie at the Bumbleberry Inn. So join us for that. Part two will be out fairly soon, but enjoy part one. Hope you enjoyed part one. Like and subscribe to us, and then we'll get back to you real quick with part two. Thank you, and we'll talk to you later.